The following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Southwest.
The American Hockey League hits the halfway mark tonight here in San Antonio. And with a rodeo road trip looming ever so closely in the distance, the San Antonio Rampage open a key 8-game homestand here tonight at the AT&T Center. The Rampage welcoming in the Milwaukee Admirals for you this evening. We have it for you here on Fox Sports Southwest. Thanks so much for joining us. Along with Andrew Monaco, I'm Dan Weiss. Great to have you along here on this Friday night as the Rampage open up this homestand. Well, Andrew, as the Rampage hit the halfway point of the season and they begin to move into the second half of the year, they have made vast improvement year over year and are really setting themselves up very good for a playoff push come the second half.
They really are, Dan, and in a couple of aspects is where they've improved from last season. They are winning on home ice and they are winning within the division. That's just a couple of places for the Rampage where they have improved from last season. As you can take a look, fourth place in the division, 11-5-1 at home, 3 games over 500 in the division. I'm going to add a couple more for you. They've been terrific in one-goal games at 11-4-2 this season, and they have kept their losing streaks short. They're collecting points as often as possible. Their longest losing streak, just 3 games this year.
Well, Eric Vay, you said that the Rampage needed to win at home, win in the division. And a team they haven't beaten in almost 3 years is their opponent tonight, the Milwaukee Admirals. I think you were calling Rampage games the last time San Antonio beat Milwaukee.
It might have been.
Well, the Rampage and the Milwaukee Admirals tonight here as they kick off this 8-game homestand at the AT&T Center. Dom Toninato, Tage Thompson, Sam Blay, and the rest of the crew going to try to bag these 2 points. We've got it for you next. Starting lineups and the face-off when we return on Fox Sports Southwest. San Antonio Rampage Hockey on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Wells Fargo, proud partner and season presenter of the San Antonio Rampage. By Methodist Healthcare, serving humanity to honor God. And by HEB, no store does more than my HEB. A Friday night in January here at the AT&T Center. Let's take a look at our Caliente Harley-Davidson starting goalies for tonight. UC Soros for the Milwaukee Admirals may be the heir apparent to Pecorine for the Nashville Predators. He makes his 8th appearance this season in the American Hockey League, but between Milwaukee and Nashville in his last 6 starts, he's got 3 shutouts. It'll be a tough challenge for the Rampage tonight. Spencer Martin, coming off an all-star caliber season a year ago, is putting forth yet another good campaign this year. 12 wins on the season, 38 wins in his American Hockey League career, but he has never beaten the Milwaukee Admirals in 3 tries. That'll be his task tonight. The Rampage and the Admirals, one of the greatest rivalries in the American Hockey League. We drop the puck from the AT&T Center next. Welcome back to the AT&T Center. The Rampage officially hit the halfway mark of the season tonight as they take on the Milwaukee Admirals. There's a look at second-year head coach Eric Vay, who has guided his team through a really strong start here at home. 11-5-1 through their first 17 games on home ice. We'll look to continue that here on this homestand. Dean Evason's in his 6th season as the head coach of the Admirals. In 5 of those seasons, he's taken his team to the postseason. Look at that overall record, 233 wins for the Milwaukee team that has made the postseason in 14 out of their last 15 years.
Not easy to do in the American Hockey League. It sounds simple, but when you have turnover for players and prospects, incredible job by the Predators organization.
With Andrew Monaco and our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss. Thanks for joining us on this Friday evening. The Rampage kicking off an 8-game homestand. Their first meeting of the regular season against the Milwaukee Admirals. San Antonio coming off a California trip in which they won the opener in Stockton in a shootout, then lost their last 2 games, and they begin the night sitting 4th in the Pacific Division as the Admirals quickly jump in, and Trevor Smith's attempt is turned away by Spencer Martin. The Rampage will break out of the zone, and here's Clint Costin, the 18-year-old who is just back from the World Junior Championships in Buffalo. He was 5th overall and scoring at 5 goals in that tournament. A turnover here in front of the Admirals net. And San Antonio will go retrieve it along the far side. The Admirals will work it back, and Bobby Butler, the former Rampage winger, sends it ahead. Quick shot kicked away as Anthony Richard denied by the left pad of Spencer Martin, and San Antonio steers it down ice.
That's 2 stops by Spencer Martin, both from that left wing, and that's a nice couple of saves.
Freddie Gaudreau, the man with the puck right now, became just the 2nd player in National Hockey League history last year to score his first 3 NHL goals in the first 3 games of the Stanley Cup final while playing for Nashville against the Pittsburgh Penguins. The other man to do that, John Hams, back in 1946, Andrew.
Yeah, so Friday night, January in AT&T Center, nothing's going to bother him now, right? He stepped up at the biggest moments.
He was the former captain for Eric Veilleux when Eric was coaching in Shawinigan, and I asked Eric this morning, I said, I know you're excited to see Freddie out there tonight, and since his elevation of his game, he says, I'm not that excited, Dan. The Admirals will quickly bring it out of the zone. And the shot in on Spencer Martin from Justin Kirkland is swallowed up, and the Admirals with quick shots on the board here 2 minutes into the game.
SWBC goal to the game is power up that power play for the San Antonio Rampage.
Well, the power play, Andrew, came up with 3 goals in the last 2 games, but here at home, they have scored just 8 times of their 26 overall power play goals. It has been a struggle at the AT&T Center for the Rampage on home ice. They're 29th in home ice power play percentage, and against the Milwaukee team that I often find never does anything overly flashy. They're good offensively, good defensively, but their special teams is where they win games. Power play and penalty kill both in the top 10. As Alex Carrier's shot is right into the glove of Spencer Martin. Another face-off here in the Rampage zone.
Claude Noel, Todd Richards, Lane Lambert, they've all been head coaches. And I know Claude Noel then went to Winnipeg, and Todd Richards ended up in Columbus and in Minnesota. They've been in other organizations, but they took note when they were there in Milwaukee, the job that they did with the Admirals.
Well, next to the Texas Stars and the Chicago Wolves, the Milwaukee Admirals are the most frequent opponent for the San Antonio Rampage for the past 16 years. This is the 97th meeting between these 2 clubs here tonight. But for the Rampage, it has been a struggle against the Admirals. They've lost their last 8 against Milwaukee. They have not beaten the Admirals in regulation in their last 15 tries, dating back to 2012.
The very first Rampage game was in Milwaukee. They lost that one. 6-1. Yuri Kolnick got the lone goal in that one. But you're right, a rivalry, boy, in the early days, seemed to play each other very often. If you played Milwaukee, you also played Chicago. You also got a Grand Rapids in there as well.
The introduction to the Pacific Division has limited the meetings between the Rampage and the Admirals over the years. San Antonio jumps in, and UC Soros with a big save as he turns away the attempt there down low of Felix Girard, the former Milwaukee Admiral, who was trying to beat his former goaltender to the short side.
Gets behind here and takes a terrific feed, and then Girard, but Soros with that left pad. And then a chance to go back to the point and gets deflected over the glass. Yeah, you're right. Over 2 seasons, almost 3 seasons in Milwaukee. But Soros kicks out that left pad, and the Finn makes the save. Just a terrific chance by the Rampage.
You see UC Soros is 5'11". By this day and age standards, that is a very small goalie. Most goalies these days, 6'3", 6'4", 6'6" now we're seeing more and more often. UC Soros, 5'11". But his numbers in the American Hockey League, outstanding. Career 44-14-1. As Grimaldi's shot was blocked on its way to the net, gloved up by Soros. And on top of that, Andrew, Soros 7-0 in his career against San Antonio.
Well, you know, it has changed over the years that technically now, I'm with you. We're so used to seeing big goaltenders, and it's almost a stigma when you were a small goaltender that you didn't rise much out of the American Hockey League. But technically, the way goaltenders now play angles and the athleticism of goaltenders, Dan, has been out of this world.
The Rampage have had a few of those athletic goalies in their years. Another one tonight, Spencer Martin makes his 24th appearance of the season. Tage Thompson with a puck just back from St. Louis. Good stick handling to the front of the net, but his shot blocked aside. Chris Butler will keep the play in the zone, but his feet off the stick of Sam Blais. Worked out to the line where Butler, named the 11th captain in Rampage history, held it in for a moment before it was jammed back out to center. Jordan Schmaltz will drive it in around to the corner. And the Admirals' defense, which has produced so many National Hockey Leaguers over the years, will go to work as they clear it out to center. Blay trying to steer it back in, and it kicks off a skate. It'll come all the way back down the ice in Spencer Martin's direction. Both teams heading off for changes. Rampage bringing on their third line, which has actually been the most consistent over the last few games. Felix Girard in between Trent Vogelhuber and Brendan Ranford. As Andrei Mironov will slap it down the ice to be an icing on the Rampage.
8 at home.
These are big 8 games.
Yeah.
I was talking again with Eric Veilleux about it this morning, and we'll take a look in a little bit at the Pacific Division standings, but all 8 teams in the Pacific Division are above 500. It's the only division in the American Hockey League where all the teams are above 500, and they are literally separated 1 through 8 by 6 points. So one night you could be sitting in a playoff spot, the next night you could be sitting 3 spots out of a playoff spot. That's how congested it is. And the Rampage, beyond the 8-game homestand, 6 of those 8 games are against divisional teams. Milwaukee's the only opponent on the schedule who is not in the division.
That's the first 2 of these 8.
Emil Pettersson, first-year North American player out of Sweden, drops it back to Carrier. His shot was redirected wide of Spencer Martin's net. And the Admirals will go back to work here as they work it up to the line, intercepted and pressed forward by Felix Girard, and Milwaukee back to chase. Carrier's lead pass, however, is behind Justin Kirkland, and an icing against the Admirals. Admirals coming off a season in which they went 43-26, 4-3, 93 points, third in the Central Division. Justin Kirkland a part of that roster. We mentioned all the accolades for their head coach, Dean Evison. It's just a team that they're like a machine, Andrew. That's probably the best way you can put it together.
And so you don't want to make mistakes, as you say. They're good on the power play, good on the penalty kill. You make a mistake, they make you pay. And all of a sudden they're either playing with the lead, or you know that you have to play an entire 60 minutes because this is a team that's going to do the same against you.
Points in 12 out of their last 17 games since December 1st as they've risen to second now in the Central Division with 19 wins on the season. Jimmy Olney, longest tenured member of the Admirals, as he'll send it along out to the line. Rampage do a nice job to hold the play in the zone. Fluttered along in front of Rocco Grimaldi, whose chance was blocked out of play up into the netting. And speaking of a guy who's on a tear right now, Rocco Grimaldi, 9 goals, 13 points in his last 15 games. Those 9 goals, the third most in the American Hockey League since December 1st.
And this bouncing puck finds its way right to Rocco. It was bouncing just a little bit, but that's someone Milwaukee does not want to see. The puck on his stick. Dan, there are people who just know how to put the puck in the back of the net. Rocco is one of those players.
Rocco just moved into 5th all-time on the Rampage point list. 117 total points, just past Greg Rollo the other night in San Jose. As Chris Butler's shot is gobbled up by UC Soros. Rocco is now 4 points back of Joel Perreault. I was drawing a blank there for a moment. Joel Perreault sitting 4th all-time, and Rocco now with his 57 career goals in Rampage history. Just recently passed a guy he's playing tonight, Bobby Butler, on the other side of the ice. Rocco has now moved into 5th all-time on the Rampage all-time goal list.
And timely goals by Rocco. Game winner after game winner. You always had a comfort feeling when the puck was on his stick with the game on the line.
Schmaltz's shot from the line, gobbled up by Saros, and now the Rampage. A couple of shots on goal here.
Last couple of shots have come from the point, but Chris Butler just showed the patience on the shot before that one by Schmaltz. He held the puck and he waited for Dom Toninato to come in front and provide a screen. And Saros still able to make the save.
Jordan Schmaltz just named to the American Hockey League All-Star roster with Rocco Grimaldi, we should mention. Earlier last week, the All-Star rosters were announced for the upcoming All-Star Classic. It'll be in Utica, New York, January 28th and 29th. Andrei Mironov, as he works with his partner tonight, Mason Gertson, and the Rampage will tip it in. Slow developing pace to this one here in the first 6 minutes. As the Admirals will work it forward. Bobby Butler, who was named a U.S. Olympian on January the 1st. We're going to talk to Bobby later on in our telecast tonight. But what an honor in obviously a strange year with no National Hockey Leaguers being eligible to participate for their respective countries in the Olympics. It has opened up the true underdog story for everybody from a hockey perspective this year. Klim Kostin will take it deep and then lose possession of the puck. And back the other way come the Admirals. Freddie Gaudreau, their center ice as he works it to Anthony Richard. Richard's shot turned away. And Nick Milosh on the rebound for the Rampage, but can't clear it out. Kept alive at the line. Long blast from the point by Jack Doherty is wide. And the Rampage will backhand the rebound out. Jack Doherty in his second season. He was Nashville's second-round pick back in 2014, coming out of the U.S. National Program. Alex Belzile, who's riding a pretty good hot wave himself. 10 points in his last 15 games. Will work the puck out of the zone, chasing Doherty back inside his own end. 7 minutes gone by here in the first period. No score. Admirals with 5 of the game's first 8 shots. Not really a lot of quality scoring chances for either side here in the opening minutes. As Duncan Siemens will get chase on this puck back in the Rampage zone. Pressure coming from the Admirals, and they'll work away a turnover on the wall here. As pinching up is Jimmy Olney on the boards, and good pressure there from Felix Girard. However, Olney will knock it back deep. Trevor Mingoya back behind the Rampage net, trying to reverse it to Justin Kirkland. It'll get kicked back around to Emil Pettersson. Pettersson, as he slips it to Mingoya. Mingoya jammed up against the wall there. Tried to return it back out to the line. It was taken away by Brendan Ranford. Girard, as he returns to Ranford, his attempt blocked in between the circles. And Emil Pettersson on the retrieval, as the Rampage will retreat to the bench for a line change. Alex Carrier, an American Hockey League All-Star a year ago, sends it to center as Mingoya deflects it into the direction of the longtime veteran P.C. Labrie. Pretty cool story for P.C. Labrie that came out this week. More on that here in a second. Tyler Moy serving it into the direction of Labrie, knocked aside. The Rampage able to deflect it out of the zone to center. P.C. Labrie, his wife delivered their first child on New Year's Eve. He was in Grand Rapids, though. She was in Milwaukee. He borrowed the Grand Rapids goalie Thomas McCullum's truck, drove 5 hours back to Milwaukee in a snowstorm, and made it 30 minutes in time for the birth of his child. Shot from the point fired wide.
She can never hold anything over his head now, right, after doing that?
There's an attempt by Labrie over there at the circle, and he didn't get all of it. Who's to say that hockey players are not nice guys? And it was a great story that has received so much tremendous response. And it was funny because P.C. Labrie actually asked a teammate of his, Mark Zangerli, who used to play for the Griffins, and say, hey, do you know anybody that might have a truck, have a car I could drive back? Now, Milwaukee and Grand Rapids, Andrew, for those who may not know geographically, they're only separated by about 70 nautical miles.
Right. It's
nautical
easier to go.
There's a lake in between.
That's right. I thought maybe they could get the DeVos boat, but I guess he didn't know that family as well.
In reality, it's about a 4.5 hour, 5 hour car trip to go around the lake.
In good weather.
Yeah, in good weather. Sharp angled shot from the corner wide. They're off the stick of Bobby Butler as it'll come back out to the line and serve back in deep behind the net. Nearly 10 minutes into this one, and Bobby Butler leads the Admirals, 16 goals on the year, as this one comes back out to the line, and Doherty's shot is smothered by Spencer Martin. We'll step aside for a timeout. Opening minutes of the AT&T Center. No score. Midway through the first period, scoreless of the AT&T Center. Andrew Rocco Grimaldi has been on fire since the beginning of December.
You just have to always know when he is on the ice, and continues to put that puck in the back of the net. Dan, could you explain why this one was so important to folks who may not know hockey?
That was Rocco Grimaldi's first career hat trick in his 185th game. There you see the numbers since December the 1st. We mentioned the 9 goals, which were third most in the American Hockey League in that time. And it's catapulted Rocco into third on the team in scoring now with 20 points overall this season. Asked Rocco, he got off to a bit of a slow start, and said he looked at his numbers from a year ago at the same time and said he was exactly where he was last year at that time. And so even though he thought he was getting off to a slow start because he had such a great finish last year, that kind of made him a little bit happier. Tononato's shot blocked out of play.
First thing that tells me, if you think you're not, Rocco's now going to work harder. But it puts it in perspective where you don't have to put so much pressure on yourself. But look, he's been in the NHL. He has been a leader. Again, this is a guy, this is size more than anything at 5'6". And again, if you look at just that, yeah, he can't make it in the NHL. Can you score? And that's what it becomes. And can you be responsible defensively? Can you be good in your own zone? All those types of things.
Can you skate? I think that's a big thing. You can't teach skating. 37 games in Rocco's NHL career. And the American Hockey League actually put together the leaders of the calendar year 2017, and only one other player in the American Hockey League scored more goals in the calendar year 2017 than Rocco Grimaldi, and that was Chris Terry. That shows you what a game-changing type of player he's been for the Rampage. Spent 3 of his 4 seasons here now in San Antonio. He has 8 career overtime game-winning goals, all as a member of the San Antonio Rampage. Dom Toninato will bring it forward here as the Rampage jump in. Sam Blais, who's had a great sophomore season. He's actually spent considerable time up with the St. Louis Blues, 10 games this year for the second-year forward. He's got a goal and 2 assists. Spent some time on the injured list, however. There's the Rampage. We'll send it back in. Saros. Well, he put it off a stick right back out in front. Milosh will take it back in the line. Alex Belzile gets a knuckle puck off, and it's into the catching glove of Saros, and he'll hang on. A little bit of how do you do after the fact. It's mid-January already, and we're getting our first meeting between these two teams.
It's a lot of size that you can put on that line with Blais, with Toninato and the 6'5" Tage Thompson.
Well, Sam Blais and Jimmy Olney make their way off to their respective penalty boxes here at the 10-10 mark of this opening period. A few minutes ago, Andrew, while we were talking about PC Labrita and the icing, Jordan Schmaltz, the all-star defenseman, went down the tunnel with athletic trainer Brent Woodside and has not since returned. That would clearly be a significant loss for San Antonio. Schmaltz, second on the team in scoring, has 22 points in 29 games. And, a very key component of the power play for the Rampage. So we'll keep an eye on Jordan Schmaltz. So the Rampage and the Admirals have hit the halfway point of the first period. No score. Back after this. Scoreless here in the opening period of the AT&T Center. The 2017-2018 Rampage season is presented by Wells Fargo and HEB. Eric Veilleux takes a peek at the standings each and every morning, sees it getting even a little bit more clustered, even a little bit more congested, but again, really stressing to his team the importance of this 8-game homestand, because after the 8-game homestand, the Rampage will go right to the rodeo road trip. They'll be gone for the rest of February. Matching minors to Jimmy Olney and Sam Blais. 10-10 of the opening period. Olney gets 2 minutes for cross-checking, and Blais will get 2 for roughing. Petter Granberg will bring it back and through the middle here as they'll hand off to Emil Pettersson. Pettersson, as he returns it into the sliders, Kirkland cutting to the net and just couldn't pull it from backhand to forehand to get the shot off. He looked like he might have had Spencer Martin beat. San Antonio back the other direction. Milosh from the circle. Shot was redirected wide. Petter Granberg will bounce it around on the near side, and this is carried out as the Rampage make a change on the back end. And from center, trying to drive this one in was Trevor Murphy. It was unsuccessful as he was stood up in the line. A good hit from Andrei Mironov. Murphy tries to sidestep Mironov. Rampage nearly took it away, but taken back here by the Admirals. And returned in the direction of Murphy and deflected out of the zone there by Mironov. Saros will come out quickly to get it. He's got to quickly get back in the net as he gave it right to Brendan Ranford. Felix Girard will jump in. Girard in his 4th season. As he circles out high, looks down to the circle for the pinching Mironov, and this time intercepted. And back the other way comes Milwaukee. Trevor Smith on the top line.
Murphy would have been better off being on the opposite side of Mironov that entire shift. He stymied him twice at the blue line, and then just before he went off to make a change, Mironov was in front of his bench as well.
Brendan Ranford will take it in down to the corner. Duncan Siemens now coming up the wall here. Gets it back out here for Dom Toninato at the line. Toninato lets one go just wide of the glove of UC Saros. In the absence, Andrew, of Jordan Schmaltz, the Rampage are actually fortunate tonight. They had dressed Jesse Graham, a natural defenseman, as a 12th forward on the fourth line tonight. Now Graham's going to go back and play defense. So it actually leaves the Rampage still with 6 defensemen in their lineup tonight.
If not, when you try to rotate those 5, especially so early in a game, when it happens later in a game, you can kind of do it, but it kind of wears on your defense.
One of the other defensemen there, Nick Malash, and again there's Tage Thompson. Boy, he just had a great run with the St. Louis Blues, just sent back down the other day. Thompson had 5 points, 3 goals, 2 assists in 11 games. He's the son of Brent Thompson, who's coaching the Bridgeport Sound Tigers right now in the American Hockey League. And the reviews on Tage Thompson's game in St. Louis in the NHL were ecstatic. Meanwhile, we're going to get our first fight of the night in a heavyweight match between P.C. Labrie, the new father, and Mason Gertson. And a good stunner there from Gertson right off the hop. Gertson goes after Labrie here as they lock up. And Labrie gets a couple of shots with that right hand. Now he's trying to drag Gertson off. Mason turning back around, and he's turned to the wrong side of that right hand. P.C. Labrie, and Mason still on his skates as they dance back here into the Rampage end. And Mason Gertson then got underneath a couple of shots from P.C. Labrie there as the fight comes to an end.
Does the beard act as like headgear, like Olympic boxing? You're right about 2 heavyweights right there, Dan. And they measured one another and measured one another and measured one another. They both got off shots at the same time.
Mason got a good first jab in there, a little bit of a stunner on Labrie that kind of backed him off a little bit, but then just the size of Labrie, 6'3", 228 pounds, and that, really gave him a leg up on Gertson, who's not a small person in himself, 6'4", 212 pounds. Here's that first shot, Andrew.
Well, Labrie then he led with that left.
Yeah.
And then you're right, he was trying to load up that right hand, and his best shots came at the end, but as Gertson was going towards the ice and realized had to back off just a little bit. But Gertson was doing the same thing, trying to measure if he could. That is difficult in those close quarters.
It's the 3rd fight for Labrie this season and the 2nd fight for Mason Gertson. Here come the Admirals with speed through the middle of the ice. And behind the play, a penalty is going to be called against Alex Carrier as he impedes Sam Blade. San Antonio is going to get an opportunity on the power play here. First power play of the night.
This is all from behind the play. Boy, and that is well behind the play. Has no effect. But now the effect is Carrier's team is a man down.
Well, we talked about the Rampage's power play numbers here at home, and thus our SWBC goal to the game for tonight. Power up the power play, particularly here at home. Overall, the Rampage power play is 18th in the league after a pretty good end of their California trip. 3 goals on the power play, 16.6% against the Milwaukee penalty kill that has only given up 22 power play goals this year. Now, the Rampage have got some really good firepower on their power play now between Rocco Grimaldi, Tage Thompson, and Sam Blade. 3 shooters out there on the ice. Trevor Smith, though, will work it free in the corner, and he'll clear it out for Milwaukee. Admirals' penalty kill on the road has only given up 15 goals in 93 chances. Thompson tried to work that one out. It got blocked, and will be settled by Petter Granberg. He didn't get a very good clean dump in, and Thompson will jump in himself. Takes it to the circle, comes in tight. Well, wraps it around and sends it back out to Blay. Maneuvered over to Jesse Graham. Blay straight away. Grimaldi at the circle. He'll pull it back into the corner now. And then brushed off the play by Trevor Murphy. Good penalty kill there for the Admirals. They'll clear. San Antonio 1 for 2 the other night in San Jose. That was their only goal as that puck comes off the boards right through the crease. Without Spencer Martin in the vicinity of the net there, but no damage done. Tage Thompson brings it ahead. Klim Kostin will roll it in on Saros. He'll play it off himself to the corner. Freddie Gaudreau tried to backhand it out, kept alive by Graham. Dribbles off Kostin's stick, but he'll keep it alive as the Rampage resetting. Play over to Graham. Graham tried to return it, and it was broken up by Gaudreau. Tips it along. Chasing back is Sam Blais for San Antonio. The Rampage down to 35 seconds on the power play. So the second wave for Eric Veilleux's power play will come on tonight, featuring Brendan Ranford out with Dom Toninato, Klim Kostin, Nick Milosh, and Chris Butler. And Kostin will turn it over, and it's cleared. And almost in the books is this opening power play for the Rampage without yet a shot on goal.
All because Gaudreau jumped into that passing lane, took that puck away. And now the Rampage, another opportunity to set up.
Forced in by Kostin and then quickly maneuvered away from him as Alex Carrier steps out of the box, and the Rampage are 0 for 1 on the man advantage. Butler with a shot through traffic, redirected wide in front. Hammered off the glass and down the ice, and this puck will bounce all the way down and gain the end line for an icing. So look at Dom Toninato as he continues through his first season as a professional after signing as a rookie free agent. Undrafted out of the University of Minnesota Duluth, captained the Bulldogs to a runner-up spot in the national championship game. They were knocked out by the Denver Pioneers a season ago. It's been a good first season for Toninato, who's got 6 goals and 11 points and has also appeared in 8 games for the Colorado Avalanche. Milwaukee will maneuver it out. Carrier will flip it back out into the Rampage end. Such good structure from the Admirals in this. We're seeing Andrew in this first period. Just don't give you a whole lot once you enter the offensive zone.
Not a lot of room. They intercept passes. They're on the sticks are on the correct side of the ice, and they can move the puck out of their zone quickly.
Here's Mark Zangerli. So quickly bring it in, snaps it across ice, and now recentered back in front by Jack Doherty, and he missed his target, and then Zangerli trying to keep it alive, but it's carried out by Julian Nantel. Nantel, well, that's just a great job coming back defensively there by Trevor Mingoya for the Admirals, picking the pocket of Nantel, keeping him out of the zone. Gerard circling now will return it back as both teams will head off for changes. And for the Rampage, their top unit coming on the ice tonight, Rocco Grimaldi, Alex Belzile, and Klim Kostin. Kostin tried to bounce off that check of Carrier, but Jimmy Olney instead will take it for the Admirals. Bounced right into the middle of the ice, but the Admirals are good enough making those dangerous passes here as Milwaukee will enter the zone. In behind the net, the Admirals, as they survey the front. Curling off on the wall with it is Harry Zolnierchuk. Zolnierchuk, who appeared last season in 11 playoff games of the Predators en route to the Stanley Cup. Alex Belzile now in transition with a shot that's wide of the glove there of Saros. Off the rebound is Klim Kostin. Will take it back to the line. Kostin backhands into the circle, but easily played out by Petter Gramberg. Final 3:18 of this opening period. No score. 8 shots for Milwaukee, 4 shots for the Rampage. You know, Andrew, as advanced analytics have become so much a part of the game, they start tracking singular events. There haven't been a lot of those in this first period. Toninato with a chance, and that's a good one, stopped by Saros as he hangs on. Rampage and the Admirals scoreless late in this first period at AT&T Center. Dominic Toninato on the Rampage trying to break through on UC Saros in this first period. Scoreless here. 3 minutes to play in the opening 20. The Admirals will clear out of their zone, sending Duncan Siemens back to get the puck. Former 11th overall draft pick by the Colorado Avalanche back in 2011. Snap it out to center, deflected right back in by Milwaukee and chased down by Freddie Gaudreau. Gaudreau will put the brakes on here just outside the trapezoid. Works it back to the line. Doherty's shot and a stick save for Spencer Martin. Tage Thompson send it along. Toninato sweeps it in. Saros out of his net, and Doherty on the reversal for Freddie Gaudreau will clear it out.
That was an example of what you talked about. The simple turnover that Milwaukee turned into a scoring opportunity. It looked like a simple play turned over at center ice.
Grimaldi's pass behind Nantel, and here come the Admirals now. Trevor Smith in. For Zolderchuk, and his blast outside the circle goes wide to the stick of Spencer Martin. Nantel was able to bring it out of the zone, but he turned it right back over to Bobby Butler. Butler centering, and getting a piece of it was Mironov back in front of Zolderchuk. Now Trevor Smith, and he once again turns it over. Mironov there again. Numbers. Mironov, 4-on-2 rush coming in. Nantel could not slide it back, and now back the other way come the Admirals on the counterattack. Back up the middle of the ice here. It's Milwaukee with a backhand shot on the net. It's turned away. That coming off the stick of first-year Finnish defenseman Jonas Loutinen. I tell you, if there's more Finnish players in the American Hockey League over the years, they have come from the Milwaukee Admirals.
It's like a pipeline.
Jonas Loutinen was in his third full season, first year in North America. Neil Pettersson is thrown down. Duncan Siemens has it for the Rampage here, approaching the final minute of this first period. Ranford deflects it in, just a little bit beyond the reach of Trent Vogelhuber. Vogelhuber then loses his stick. Jimmy Olney angling along here. The Admirals will break out of their zone. Kirkland up the middle. Carrier will bring it in. Works it back. Mingoy at the circle. Knocked away from his stick. Mironov there, but a penalty behind the play against the Rampage. Look at Milwaukee, a late first period power play. Cross-check coming up on the captain, Chris Butler.
Boy, Carrier on that rush up the ice gets a pass in his skates, is able to kick it to his forehand and continue that rush up the ice. But right here is Carrier, after all that puck handling, goes to the front of the net, and he gets cross-checked by Chris Butler, who will go into the box, and Milwaukee on the power play.
Mason Gertson and PC Labrie just about done with their penalties. They were not only hit for a 5-minute for fighting, Andrew, but they were also given 10 minutes on top of that. So the face-off inside the Rampage zone here with the Admirals, who are 9th in the American Hockey League on the power play, 31 goals, but really clicking. Gone 15 for their last 74, above 20% since the beginning of December. San Antonio unable to clear out, but their penalty kill here on home ice has been really good for the Rampages of late. Circling out here is Zolderchuk, and returns it into the corner. Cross ice pass to Butler, and it was blocked in front. His attempt and drive to the net by Mironov. Now snap back. Pettersson centering, deflected over the cage by Zolderchuk. Butler reverses it back to Zolderchuk. He'll play it up the wall. Pettersson plays it across the line, and Carrier couldn't keep it alive.
Just enough pressure to change the angle and have that puck go over the blue line. But Milwaukee changes sides of the ice, and they shuffle that puck in that zone so quickly. They read one another very well.
Labrie and Gertson come out. They're actually given an additional 2 minutes rather than the 10 minutes unsportsmanlike. So their penalties are done. And they're out of the box here with 17.9 seconds remaining in the first period. If the Admirals don't score, they'll have a minute and 14 seconds of power play time carry over into the start of period number 2. Mark Zangerlin for the face-off against Dom Toninato. Toninato wins it back all the way deep, however, as Mironov gets crossed up. But Toninato comes back, gets the puck, and he'll clear it the length of the ice. And that should wrap up this opening 20 minutes here as the Admirals will let the final seconds of the first period come to an end. 10-5, the shots in favor of Milwaukee. Neither team finds the back of the net, scoreless after 20 minutes at the AT&T Center, where the most exciting part of the first period was PC Labrie and Mason Gertson dropping the gloves. We'll talk to Chris Butler on the other side of the timeout. To the second period we go. Rampage and the Admirals scoreless after 20 minutes here at the AT&T Center. Along with Andrew Monaco, our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss. Thanks for joining us. First of 8 in a row at the AT&T Center. Second 8-game homestand for the Rampage, and they've all been within the last 2 months. It's interesting to look at the Rampage season. It's kind of been broken up in quarters. The first quarter, they hardly were at home. Second quarter here at home. The third quarter will be the rodeo trip. The fourth quarter, they'll wrap it back up at home.
I think that makes it even more impressive at home because teams have a tendency when they're home for a long time to get a little lazy at home. So they've kept that focus.
There's a turnover created by Felix Girard with the Rampage starting the period on a penalty kill for 1 minute and 14 seconds. Continuation of the minor penalty for cross-checking that was assessed to the captain, Chris Butler, there at the end of the opening 20. This power plays down to its final 35 seconds. The Admirals finally reset to the line, and then Bobby Butler's pass was beyond the outstretched reach of Alex Carrier. Will send Bobby back to get it inside his own zone. So now the Admirals will start again. 200 feet down the ice of Spencer Martin, and now they ice the puck. So not the best executed power play here in the last couple of seconds.
Good to see Toninato out there forechecking 2 of the 4 shorthanded goals for the Rampage, and you can see Bobby Butler taking the responsibility. That all got messed up. Another bad angle pass that went over the blue line forced Milwaukee back into its own end, and then icing the puck on a power play, one of the cardinal sins.
Bobby Butler was one of the most effective players in Rampage history at 106 points in 137 games. He was virtually a point-per-game player in his 2 seasons with the club. And I wonder, and I think a lot of Rampage fans do, what would have happened if Bobby didn't tear his Achilles in March in Oklahoma City with the Rampage putting together their best season in franchise history. A lot of people think that if Bobby stays healthy, the Rampage go a lot farther in that postseason. Chris Butler brings it out of the zone, skips it away to the corner. San Antonio kills off the first Milwaukee power play of the night. Both teams are 0 for 1. And here's a good stretch pass ahead. Freddie Gaudreau loses his footing, gets back up, centers, and it goes off Anthony Richard's stick. Tracked back into the corner by Mark Zangerli. Out top it'll come. And now bouncing in front of Spencer Martin before it's whacked aside. Shot on by Murphy from the point to the stack pads of Spencer Martin, and he'll squeeze that one.
Gaudreau's stick handling in tight spaces is something to watch. There in that right circle. And here's Spencer Martin just able to see that. Dan, you and I have talked about this before. I know I've said before, but every goaltender has said, if I can see it, I can save it. And right there with the C parted, no matter how hard you're going to hit that and how many miles per hour behind that slap shot, Spencer Martin saw it all the way.
San Antonio controls the faceoff. I agree. I don't think this game's really going to open up much without a mistake. And there was one right there, but fortunately Gaudreau was way too tight along the end line to really do anything with a puck. Here's Grimaldi racing in. Cross-ice pass, broken up, rebound! And what a save by Soros, robbing Klim Kostin.
And he knows it, doesn't he? But it's Grimaldi. It's the threat of Grimaldi. And Kostin skates right with him. So Rocco gets below the dot, and then as it caroms right to Kostin in the slot, Soros has to move near side to the far side of the post. That little deflection goes to Kostin, and it's on his stick. But Soros just too quick and made that save.
You talk about athletic goalies. When you're 5'11", you better be athletic. Butler, long drive off the glove of Soros. He'll tap it himself. Richard tries to flip it up the wall. Knocked down there by Grimaldi. The Rampage will keep it alive in the zone. Grimaldi tried to play it back to the middle, and it was intercepted. A little zone time for the Rampage, trying to maybe cash in on a little offensive momentum here. And now Gaudreau will bring it back in. Freddie Gaudreau take it down to the corner. Sends it around the net in the direction of Zangerli. It'll hop over his stick, although Alex Belzile lost possession, and Zangerli will take it back and recycle it back to the line. Lotanen with a shot that didn't come through from the point. It'll be carried out by Belzile. Leading the charge with the Grimaldi and Kostin up the ice. The trailer's Milage, and his shot swallowed up there by Soros.
I love the patience of Rocco as he gets across that line. High on that right wing. He knows he's not going to force it through the traffic to his line mates. And Milashes the trailer and puts it right on his stick. Yeah, I know it's a long shot, but it's a shot on goal that Soros has to save. Look at Grimaldi surveying the ice. He knows Milashes the trailer, and the one-timer, Soros makes the save.
Well, when you only get 5 shots on goal in the first period, I can guarantee you that the first thing Eric Veilleux said in between periods is, guys, we got to shoot the puck more. Rampage have been in the top 5 in shots per game almost all season, averaging now 32 a night. And they were very out of place Tuesday in San Jose with only 25 shots in the game. It was the first time in a month and a half they'd been held to below 25 or below shots in a game. Just doesn't happen with this team. Olney turns it over in the corner, allows the Rampage to set it back up. Jesse Graham will hand it to Sam Blais. The cross-ice pass to Siemens. Siemens turns and fires. That deflects and then goes, might have been off the post up high or off a shoulder there in front. And Blais then gets upended behind the net, and the Karam will come out of the zone. So Jesse Graham, who started the game as a forward, is returned back to playing a defense. Because of the absence of Jordan Schmaltz, the Rampage were down a defenseman. Graham brings it back in, takes a shot, save, juicy rebound out for Vogelhuber, got tripped up, no penalty. Gerard tries a shot, blocked out of the zone. San Antonio will reset here, and definitely a lot more positive momentum for the Rampage here to open this second period. 4 minutes into the middle frame. Olney works it up the wall, and Chris Butler will take it here now. The Admirals get set in a formation resembling what's a neutral zone trap. And they'll work the puck away. Emil Pettersson snap it out, and icing and effective. Butler can win the race to the dots, and he can do just that.
You're going to give me nightmares. You bring out left wing lock. An entire season of that. You know, once again, though, you talk about that athleticism, and Vogelhuber, you talked about that juicy rebound coming out in the slot and upended. He lost his skates. That's a couple of times that Saros has probably had something in his mind and then had to change that direction. That's that athleticism that you were talking about.
Graham with a shot and a blocker save from Saros. Kirkland got away with a trip there, 100%. Had the stick right on the skates. This one's set up off the skate of Brendan Ranford, is taken the other way by Emil Pettersson. With Kirkland on the wing, joining the play late is Mingoya, the pass behind him. They'll take it around the net here. Now San Antonio will take possession. Ucille knocks it off the wall, back to the middle of the ice.
Just a couple of times the misfire, Dan. If the puck is on the tape, it's a better chance. A couple of times the pass has been into the skates.
Game of inches, Andrew. How many times do we say that?
So true.
Ranford beats out Nicing here. Trevor Smith on the puck. And the veteran will work it out. Bobby Butler, good lead pass ahead that slips under Zolnarchuk, comes down to the corner. Zolnarchuk and Butler, two veterans, as Butler from behind the net. The other Butler, Bobby, sending it out in front. Rampage get on the puck and will take it out. And here's the speed of Rocco Grimaldi, trying to weave his way to the front, lost possession, and then Saros throws it off Mironov, who's able to place it perfectly back into the corner. Mironov back out top. Chris Butler's shot and a paddle save there from Saros. Grimaldi behind the net, reverses course there. A skate around Trevor Murphy, and he does that. Centers for Kostin, a shot, another save. Two good looks for Kostin here in the period. Kostin now steps into the slot, gives to Grimaldi, his shot blocked. And pinballs to the corner. And the Admirals back on their heels a little bit here in this second period. The shot attempts and the shots on goal for the Rampage heavily favored in their direction so far.
5 in the first period, 8 here so far in the second.
Chris Butler ahead to center. Dom Toninato coming up ice with Tage Thompson. Toninato in the corner. And he gets manhandled there by Petter Granberg, as does Sam Blais trying to come up with a puck. Thompson digs it free. Trying to leave it into the corner for Toninato, who had lost his stick. Back the other way comes Mark Zangerli up the ice with Richard trying to return it to Zangerli, broken up. Now to Freddie Gaudreau, and he lost it on his backhand. Tage Thompson the other way for the Rampage. Thompson slowed up. Sam Blais will take possession. Blais bottled up at the circle, able to work it out. Milosh takes a shot, redirected off the pad there of Saros. And buried there in the corner is Blais. It'll be a penalty on Lotanen, and San Antonio will go to the power play when we come back. Rampage going to get their second power play. Jonas Lotanen to the penalty box for Milwaukee. Jonas Lotanen sitting in the Milwaukee penalty box, gets a 2-minute minor for boarding. And Andrew, San Antonio, which has had a lot of offensive momentum in the period, gets a chance to go on another power play.
You put Thompson in front. The deflected puck goes here to Rampage. We're going to have more of that offensive zone time. Lotanen with the trip, and the Rampage their second power play. But you're right. Thompson went straight to the front of that net there for that shot to get in front of Saros. And because they were more aggressive to go get that loose puck, where the Rampage have gotten to those loose pucks in this period, forces that penalty on Lotanen.
You see Saros had a 27-save shutout the other night against the Cleveland Monsters, so he's stopped his last 41 here. The Rampage need to break through this young Finnish netminder, 22 years of age, who's dominated the American Hockey League. Blais will come in to take the spot, or Thompson rather, as Alex Belzile gets waved out. Thompson able to win it back to Rocco Grimaldi. Thompson will track it back here. San Antonio gets set up with a man advantage. Belzile across to Grimaldi, driving the slot, shoots it off the glove of Saros. And a little dribble behind the net. Grimaldi with it back. Fakes or returns to Chris Butler. Butler straight away to Thompson. Thompson a shot wide. And this carom will come out of the zone. Boy, Rocco Grimaldi, Andrew, got it right in his wheelhouse, exactly where he wanted it.
Thompson out of the corner, right to Rocco. And if Saros doesn't get a piece of that glove, it's 1-0.
Thompson back in. Grimaldi trying to center, broken up. Jimmy Olney getting a piece of that, allows Justin Kirkland to get over, tried to clear it out. Nice job by Butler to hold it in. Better job by Grimaldi to keep it alive. Butler to Sam Blais on the half wall. Back to Butler. Plays to Thompson. One-timer save. Juicy rebound. Scored it over to Blais. He'll return it back to the line. Butler to Thompson. One-timer. Another save. Saros. Thompson putting it here across. Here's Blais. Right circle. Fake shoots, and he shot it wide. Thompson again. Butler at the line. 45 seconds on the power play. Grimaldi to Butler. Thompson to the circle. Another shot. This one didn't get through. Back to Thompson. Comes in front. Circles and serves it out into the middle. Intercepted, and Kirkland gets it out. What a shift for the Rampage top unit on the power play.
That was terrific. And the scoring chances there, nothing but scoring chances for Grimaldi, Blais, and Thompson.
Second unit out with Jesse Graham leading the rush. As he dumps it in, played by Murphy. Clean outlet here on the wing. The Admirals are going to race ahead shorthanded. Derek Army will bring it up the wall. Army with a shot, and it's fought off by Martin. In the final seconds of the penalty on Lotanen. Ranford brings it in. Slowing up along the wall, gives it back to Klim Kostin. Kostin, well, he tried to think he had someone at the line, and instead he served it back up the ice to Owen, and Lotanen steps right out of the box and gets to the puck. Lotanen holding, snapping it across ice. It'll come through to Murphy back of the line. Murphy tosses one away to the corners. The Admirals going to change. The Rampage 0 for 2, but not for a lack of effort on that power play. There's a shot in the point, redirected wide by Butler. Brendan Ranford will take it for the Rampage here. San Antonio 0 for 2 on the power play now. Murphy ahead. This pass slips through Zolnarchuk. The Rampage can settle things down inside their own end. Nearly halfway through the period, nearly halfway through the game. No score. Trent Vogelhuber's in. His shot blocked off the shoulder there of Murphy. Bounces around to the corner. Played there by Felix Gerard. Behind to Vogelhuber. Off the front of his stick. He goes down. Collected in the corner by Bobby Butler. Butler jams it up against the wall with Felix Gerard on his back. Now it's drawn free. Still behind the net. Squirts out to Bobby Butler. Passes it behind Trevor Smith, but it'll come out of the zone. Adam Musil. As he returns it to Gertson, and the Admirals now in the midst of a change. Trevor Smith finishing out his shift. He's able to dump it back into the right corner of the Rampage zone. Musil will bring it out to center. Played junior hockey in Red Deer a year ago. Sends it to the left. Shot fired wide. Belzile. As he plays it around the cage. There's another miss by Grimaldi over there at that opposite circle a moment ago. Pedersen deflects it in. Back to Mingoya. Tracks it in the corner. Mingoya plays it through the goal crease. It'll bounce off the wall. Lotanen just stepping off the Admirals bench. Sent back in behind the net. Mironov. Dig it out. Andre Mironov works it forward, but the Rampage for a moment lost possession, but a good second effort by Alex Belzile was able to force it out to center ice and chopped away from Grimaldi's stick, and Mironov will take it once again. 9:05 to play here in the second. Julian Nantel. Saros comes out to get it. Sends to the corner. Nantel plays it up to the line. Siemens had to skate over, and he couldn't save the point. Right in front of the Rampage bench, Tage Thompson knocked away from him. Right back into the Admirals. Zengerle moves it to the circle, was looking for Richard, was a little bit behind him. Thompson will take it back. Out to Sam Blais, right of the red line. Backhands it across ice, staying onside. Here's Toninato for Thompson. Stripped of the puck and circled back here as Richard will get to it. Reverses around his net to Trevor Murphy. Back to Richard, banked off the wall beautifully to Zengerle. Swatted along to Freddie Gaudreau, who's got some space. Stops, hands it off Richard. Tried to return it to Gaudreau, it was broken up, and Toninato will take it away. It feels like a chess match, Andrew, here right now.
Sure does, but haven't the Rampage taken away the space of Milwaukee in their own zone? It's amazing. That's been a great adjustment here in the second period.
Gaudreau out to the middle. PC Labrie will backhand it in. Jesse Graham didn't see it, allowed Labrie to come in and poke it away to the corner. Brantford will get to it for the Rampage. Passes behind Felix Girard, however, and allows Derek Army to hold it in. Rampage pinned in for the first time a little bit here now as Carrier picks one off a stick down to the circle. Graham picks it up but can't exit. Meloche will get another try.
Difference is they're hemmed in, Dan, but there's no opportunities coming for Milwaukee.
Here's a possible opportunity as Olney pinches to get to possession of the puck. Sends it around the net. Nice job by Graham as he worked it over to Meloche. And now the clean exit for Ranford out to the middle. Lost it a little bit ahead of him. Meloche tries to dump it in. The puck is tied up and then gets sent in. And now penalties are going to be called. I think Meloche is going to get an initial penalty. And he's on top of the Admirals skater in a vulnerable position. That draws the whistle. We'll take a timeout. The Rampage of the Admirals still scoreless halfway through this one at the AT&T Center. Defenseman Nick Meloche will land him in the penalty box, and San Antonio back to the penalty kill, Andrew.
Ends up being an elbow on Meloche there between the benches. I think when you have that post in between as well, makes it a little more dangerous. Now all the puck possession for the Rampage for the first 12 minutes and 45 seconds for the most part in the second period. Now you're going to give Milwaukee an opportunity to get out of that rut, if you will, by having a power play.
Rampage here to keep penalty kill a little more than halfway through the game. San Antonio's 0 for 2 on the power play. The Admirals get their second. Carrier a blast that gets redirected wide of Spencer Martin's paddle. Tracked down in the corner by Pedersen. A poor pass into the middle allows the Rampage to pick it off. Vogelhuber able to backhand it out. It's a type of game, Andrew, where you feel like special teams are going to play a part. Trevor Smith brings it in, returns it to Pedersen. Emil Pedersen drives the slot, shoots, caught, Martin lost it, rebound, score. Trevor Smith on the back post knocks it in. Spencer Martin couldn't hang on, and the Admirals have the opening goal and a 1-0 lead.
If you can see it, you can save it, but when you have 3 skaters in front of you, it's tough to see, and able to knock it in for our first goal. Pedersen gets to the top of that slot, and it is that pressure out in front. Zonarchuk is there, so Martin can't make the clean save, and the puck gets ushered over to Smith. Bangs it home.
Trevor Smith, 7th of the season, 6 of which have come on the power play. Zonarchuk and Pedersen the assists, and we go to 33 minutes and 14 seconds before somebody scores. And the Milwaukee icing. And so, the Rampage, Andrew, 0 for 2 on the power play. The Admirals now cash in their 1 for 2.
I just feel like you let Milwaukee off the hook by taking that penalty. It allows them to have the power play and breathe a little bit and get a little space after doing a wonderful job, that adjustment where they were getting no time, no space in their zone. I mean, that's only their 4th shot on goal, Dan. It's 14-4 Rampage out shooting Milwaukee in this second period.
21st time that the Admirals have scored first this year, and as you can imagine, they're a tough team to come back against. 12-6-2 when getting the opening goal of the season for Emil Pedersen. It's his 28th point in 33 games in his first season playing here in North America. Now the Rampage are going to be caught with another penalty, and the one that you, as a fan, always hate to see, the clearing the puck over the glass out of play from your own zone against Andrei Mironov, and right back to the penalty kill goes San Antonio. I asked Eric Veilleux earlier about the better discipline for the Rampage, and he said, no doubt about it, we've been much more disciplined the last 10 games of the season. But it's not always the penalties, Andrew. It's the inopportune timing of the penalties.
I agree with that. I agree with that. When do they happen? Not always how, but when do they happen? You called the last power play an important one. This is another important penalty kill for the Rampage.
So Mironov gets 2 minutes for delay of game, firing the puck out of play from your own zone. I know there's a lot of people who are not a fan of that rule, but I don't believe there really should be a lot of bailout plays in hockey.
I know why it's in. I understand it because you and I have watched too much hockey in the past to know that was exactly what it was, a delay tactic, a bailout play. I love that description.
Here's a shorthanded chance. Gerard can't maneuver it to the front of the net. I think in that instance, though, one, there's never any intent to get it out. I didn't think Mironov knew it exactly as he let it fly. Here's an opportunity for Musil breaking in. Chris crosses, shoots on the ice, and a stick save from UC Soros. So it's the Rampage who get the first shot, despite the fact they're shorthanded. The Admirals jump back in. Freddie Gaudreau slides around Duncan Siemens. Puts it off Zangerly's stick, pops back into the slot. Directed down by Trevor Murphy along the wall. Returns it to Gaudreau. Gaudreau to Murphy. Into the slot. One-timer fed wide. Anthony Richard let it go, and he didn't miss by much. Gaudreau with it back on the half wall. Loutinen. Richard. Now to Gaudreau. One-timer, and he scores at the circle. What a shot by Freddie Gaudreau. Back-to-back power play goals for the Admirals, and they lead it 2-0.
Gaudreau gave them the scoring opportunity before then with his vision and passing, and here he finishes here on the power play. Puck at the top, cross ice, below the face-off dot. Woo! He wasted absolutely no time, and it's a laser past Spencer Martin.
Only his 4th goal of the season, Andrew.
Surprising, but he seems more of a creator than he is the finisher. I thought that the scoring chance before then, when he was at that left point, but they zipped the puck. See, that wasn't there for the first, as you were talking, 13 minutes. It has been because of the power plays.
Spencer Martin never had a chance. Now we're going to get a penalty against Milwaukee for slashing and a chance for the Rampage to counter when we come back. The Admirals strike quickly. 2 power play goals in $1:29. Rampage have some work to do. Rampage get an opportunity to counter with their 3rd power play of the game, 2nd in the period. Now down 2-0 though, after back-to-back power play goals scored by the Admirals in 1 minute and 29 seconds. Murphy and Loutinen get the assists on the goal scored by Gaudreau. It has the Admirals up 2, and now a poor entry by Sam Blais. And Milwaukee will jump back in shorthanded. Trevor Smith lets a shot go. It's blocked wide. And San Antonio forced to reset here in the first 30 seconds of the power play in the books.
You get back to what you were doing in the early part of the period, the crisp passing and being more aggressive with that puck. Even though you're down 2 goals, knowing that a power play goal here changes the complexion of this period.
Ramberg jammed up against the wall. Murphy perfectly angles it off the boards and out of the zone.
Yeah, he read that. Do you make the short pass or can you clear it? And Murphy was able to clear it.
Penalty was on the Admirals. Emil Pettersson for slashing. Thompson to the net, slows up, gives to Belzile, reverses out top. Here's Chris Butler, straight away to Thompson, back to Butler, taps it over to Grimaldi, looking across for Thompson, well read by the Admirals.
Clogged up that slot, did they not?
Labrie shorthanded, lets one fly to kick save by Spencer Martin. That'll set off the rush to Jesse Graham. Jumps back in, Toninato going to the net, Graham fires it around, Milosh will pinch up into the corner to play it, but he then concedes possession over, and Harry Zolnierchuk will take it out for the Admirals. Up ahead here, Mark Zangerly. Zangerly down to the corner, loses his footing, but keeps the Rampage pinned back in their zone here. 21 seconds remaining on the penalty. Bradford jumps it back in. Well, he lost possession. San Antonio was fortunate for a moment to keep possession, but once again, it's the Admirals to pick it up and clear. And I tell you, Andrew, we said special teams was going to play a part in a game like this, and right now, controlled by Milwaukee.
Yep, that's why it's 2-zip. Those 2 power play goals and this penalty kill here.
Pettersson out of the box. Rampage 0 for 3. Admirals 2 for 3. There's your difference in the game. Milosh To the corner, set up into the middle. Richard there to pick it off right in front of Felix Girard. Anthony Richard jumps in. Richard drops it off to Gaudreau. Puts it to the slot. Broken up. Loading and shot. What a save by Martin. Musil will take it out here for the Rampage. 2:45 remaining in the period. Dumps it in down to the corner. Musil, the battle along the wall there. With Emil Pettersson leaning on him. Trying to draw this puck free, as is Felix Girard from behind. And Musil's able to dig it out. Sets it up and tail right over the crossbar. Off that one-time setup by Adam Musil. Girard bounces off a check. This is a good response shift after the power play for the Rampage. The Admirals will bring it out. Freddie Gaudreau right back in. Mingoya. Send it across to Kirkland on his backhand. Swings it around the net. Mingoya tried to play it up the wall. Gave it right to Alex Belzile. Belzile tosses it in. Rampage will go for a change. Saros lets it dribble off to his right. Here's Belzile on the forecheck. He pins his man up to the wall, but it's Murphy who will clear it out. Dumped in from center there by Tyler Moy, the rookie out of Harvard. Milosh will chase this one down. San Antonio on the reset here, but they're going to have to change their strategy a little bit. Mingoya off the turnover, shot it well high and wide of Spencer Martin. Good job by Rocco Grimaldi. Outworked Trevor Mingoya for the puck, but he couldn't handle it cleanly. And this is work back to Murphy at the line. Slaps it off the wall. Hops back and over to Milosh on the far post. San Antonio trying to jam it out. It'll slip through Mingoya and out of the zone. Final 70 seconds here in the second period. Rampage down a couple of goals.
It's funny, the Rampage had all the offensive success by being responsible in their own end.
Taken away from Blade. Bobby Butler turns and slaps it wide. Grimaldi trying to nub this one out. Kept alive at the line by Smith. Butler trying to play it into the direction of Zolnarchuk. Got blocked on its way. What a great puck retrieval there by Bobby Butler in the corner. Give it back to Zolnarchuk. Stepping out to the circle. Returns it. Oh, just right through Alex Carrier. Rampage get it out. But it's Milwaukee right now who's got the pressure on San Antonio. Final 30 seconds of the period. Long outlet to the middle is picked off by Jimmy Olney. Carrier will carry it right back in. Martin steps out, whips it around the wall. Knocked down here by Smith. Played off the side of the net there by Zolnarchuk from the corner. And this one's cleared out. 10 seconds left in the period. Rampage will go back to get it with Mironov. Inside his own end, slaps it ahead. Sam Blay. Final seconds, ran into his own man right at the line. And a frustrating second half of the period for the Rampage, who had 16 shots in that second period. But it's the Admirals who get 2 power play goals and lead it 2-0 after 2. We'll talk to the head coach, Eric Veilleux, when we return after this. Start of the third period of the AT&T Center. Rampage go pink. Rampage annual Pink in the Rink night coming up on Friday night, February 2nd at 7:30, presented by Methodist Healthcare. Come out to celebrate breast cancer fighters and survivors as the Rampage go pink for the cause. Got a pink t-shirts, any ticket for only $6 more. Go to sarampage.com to find your seats. It'll be our 8th annual Pink in the Rink night coming up on February 2nd. Amazing how 8 years have gone by since the inaugural one back in 2011. As we're underway here in the final 20 minutes of play. Rampage and the Milwaukee Admirals. San Antonio down 2-0. They've lost 8 in a row against the Admirals. Their last win coming back in 2015. And they're going to need a comeback here to prevent that streak from going to 9. Shot from the point, redirects wide here. As the teams start 5 against 5 here with the penalty boxes empty to begin the third. This puck flutters down in on Spencer Martin, and a swing and a miss by Trevor Smith right out in front.
It was so odd. The shot from the point hit off Rocco Grimaldi and kind of fluttered there, and it was just kind of swinging at it out of midair.
You know, you and I both know that these players have such great hand-eye coordination. You rarely see them swing and miss, even at a thing such as small as a puck.
Isn't that the truth? That's the absolute truth. I wish fans could watch the tip drills that get done after a skate or a practice to really give you that eye-hand coordination that they have.
I wish the fans could watch these guys play soccer before the game and then play ping pong.
You're exactly right.
It's unreal. Some of the best ping pong players probably in the world play hockey. Now basketball, that's a different story. Felix Gerard behind the Milwaukee net. Slowed up as Ranford comes in to get the puck. Boy, if the Rampage get a power play opportunity early in this period, that is going to be important for them. Vogelhuber, the chance, lost it. The rebound, though, was sitting there, and it was kept out. Saros couldn't cleanly freeze it. Siemens plays it right off to Ranford. A shot turned away. Well executed off that end wall there on the feed from Siemens. Ranford tried to flip it back to the pinching Siemens, but fanned on the pass, and the Admirals send it down the ice, but did not gain the red line. Now, the near side linesman waves off the icing, and so both teams will make changes.
Saros made early saves in the second period. Twice on Costin, twice on Tage Thompson. He stopped Rocco Grimaldi. Here he gets a little bit of luck, and he has defensemen move that puck that was still bouncing in the crease.
San Antonio offside. Well, here's the save from UC Saros on the attempt by Trent Vogelhuber.
Vogelhuber's right there, left pad save. Ranford has to go through Saros, and then it is cleared out. It is actually the equivalent of a hand pass, but just swiping, just getting that out of danger.
When you are a good goalie, you get a lot of those breaks.
You're right.
Just like skaters, you make your own breaks. Trevor Mingoya for the Admirals here as the AT&T Center crowd tries to come to life. The Rampage offense tonight has been stifled by the Milwaukee system and UC Saros. And behind the play, an icing on the Rampage. Dominic Toninato a little bit confused, as is Eric Veilleux right now on the Rampage bench. I don't know if that was necessarily confused look by Veilleux.
Toninato using the size, using his strength, and getting some good shots on goal, and also throwing that weight around a little bit to create some of that room.
So the face-off here inside the Rampage zone after that icing, as Toninato will settle back into the circle here against Emil Pettersson. And Pettersson waved out. Kirkland will take his spot. Toninato wins it cleanly. Rampage clear off Carrier and out to the middle of the ice. Milwaukee will reset and load up. 2 power play goals for the Admirals. A minute 29 apart is the difference in the game. The Admirals lead it 2-0. Sam Blais snaps it ahead to Rocco Grimaldi in space. Takes a shot. Fought off by the waffle board there of Saros, and a perfect redirection off Alex Belzile back to Saros' catching glove.
It's a couple of times that Saros real deep rebounds. Grimaldi lets that fly by the face-off dot in the right circle. Look how far this rebound comes. Belzile in that slot, but it caroms right into the catching glove of Saros.
That probably would not have been a goal for Alex Belzile had it gone in, since he moved it with his glove. But nonetheless, just again, a perfect break for UC Saros to just catch that one out of midair after it redirected off of Belzile. Grimaldi takes Belzile's spot in the circle, and the face-off won by Derek Army.
Dan, I loved watching Pekka Rinne be a goaltender for Milwaukee, and now to see Saros, there's a reason why 14 of 15 years in the postseason for the Admirals.
And we talked about the development of defensemen by Nashville here in Milwaukee as Tyler Morey comes up the wall, circles back, shoots, and a good save from Martin there. As he makes the stop on PC Labrie. But I mean, you think about the guys that have graduated, that have played here in Milwaukee. Talking about Roman Josi. It's a great attempt there by PC Labrie. Shea Weber played in Milwaukee. Yes, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Not to mention, as you said, Pekka Rinne and net. When you draft and you develop effectively, you have success in both the AHL and the NHL. Murphy lets one fly wide. Jack Doherty misses from the opposite circle. San Antonio pushes ahead. Rampage need a break of their own here early in the third, down 2. Murphy along the wall. Siemens pinches up, puts it around the net. Around it comes to the opposite side. Nick Milosh and Adam Usiel joining the play. Colorado is hopeful that what has happened in Nashville will happen here in San Antonio as Bobby Butler leads a 2-on-1 up the ice. Butler, who's got just a deadly shot. Spencer Martin has to fight that one off.
It's a couple terrific saves by Spencer Martin here in the third.
Bobby Butler's got one of the quickest releases in the American Hockey League through the years. It's a big reason why he'll be a part of Team USA in Pyeongchang, South Korea in just over a month. Richard, as he returns it to Gaudreau, kick it along the wall, and San Antonio will work it out. But the strip from Tage Thompson exiting the zone, and the Admirals jump back, and Richard with a chance. Glove save by Spencer Martin with larceny on Anthony Richard.
Make it now 3 wonderful saves by Spencer Martin after the puck is turned over. And Richard's shot, and Spencer Martin just too quick with that glove. He flashes that glove, makes that save, and keeps it 2-0.
That's 20 saves tonight for Spencer unofficially in this one. The third-year netminder was a third-round draft choice by Colorado back in 2013. You see the shots, 24-22. Rampage for the night. Rocco Grimaldi will send it in. Had a feeling it would be low-scoring chance type of night. That's exactly what we've had. 2 power play goals for Milwaukee, the difference. Trevor Mingoya will carry out through the middle of the ice into the Rampage zone.
You think Kostin got a little frustration out on that check after being denied twice in the second period?
Lowton in across the line. Little dribble off the stick of Petter Granberg and come out to the middle of the ice. Well, Saros has been excellent as it's brought back in by Mingoya, and his shot caught by Martin. But the guy that Saros replaced, so to speak, Anders Lindback, who was called up to Nashville because Saros hasn't really played enough. When your Pekarine's backup, you never play, basically. Anders Lindback has 19 wins this year for Milwaukee. He has been probably the best goalie in the Western Conference this season. He's headed to the All-Star game upcoming in Utica. So they don't go together, Lindback and Saros. If they did, I'm not sure whether Milwaukee would lose. But Lindback has been nearly as unbeatable as Saros has been tonight. Saros is 15 minutes away from back-to-back shutouts. Breen loses his footing. Toninato will send it around to the opposite side. The Rampage clear it ahead. It goes off Granberg, settles back off Ranford. Centers in front. Toninato sent it wide. What a chance. Ranford back out. Mironov shot wide again. Well, the Rampage not cashing in. This one deflects off Saros, comes through the paint. And Tyler Moy will play it. Well, those are pucks you have to hit the net on, Andrew.
Yeah.
On those types of chances.
It's rare that Saros sent it offside. It's rare that Saros has been out of position, and the Rampage could not take advantage of him still on the move. Now, we've seen him go post to post tonight. We've seen him kick out the pad. But here, that loose puck that Ranford jumps on Toninato, and he shot it just wide. But that's not the end of the opportunity. Ranford stays on it. And at the top of that slot, Mironov's shot misses the net, unfortunately. And then the Rampage had a third opportunity that trickled through the crease.
Rampage have 25 shots tonight, but I'd argue probably have about 50 shot attempts in this game. That's kind of a new stat they've started to track a little bit that includes block shots, and it kind of just speaks to your overall possession here as a Rampage turnover in the zone nearly cost them before San Antonio exits. Sam Blais will carry it in, and I think speaks to the fact how the Rampage have carried the play tonight 5-on-5 against Milwaukee, but have not been able to convert. As Zolnarchuk's attempt is grabbed out of midair by Martin. That'll take us to a timeout. Dom Toninato nearly cut the deficit to half. The Rampage still down 2. Take a look at our Staybird Sweets goalie stats tonight for Spencer Martin. 21 saves to this point in the game. And Andrew, what's going to get lost tonight is that Spencer Martin, if the score doesn't change, has made a lot of good saves in this game.
He's made 7 saves in this third period alone, and I would say 4 of them have been bell ringers. You're flashing the glove just in the right position. A couple of shots from that left circle. One, as you mentioned, Bobby Butler. Richard had a quality shot as well. And Martin said the Rampage, they can't give up another one. Spencer Martin's doing his part.
7-4 Admirals, the shots here in the third. Here's Gaudreau. What a toe drag into the slot. What a great job by Felix Girard on the back check to prevent him from getting a shot off. San Antonio will bring it out. 13.5 minutes remaining. Sam Blais to Tage Thompson, and his shot turned away. That's too easy for Saros. Thompson with it back in the corner. Using that 6'5" frame as he works it to Blais. Will play it around over to Chris Butler. Butler right at the bottom of the circle. Stripped of the puck by Zangerli and pokes it along to Anthony Richard, who will scale it out to center. Jesse Graham, who started the night as a forward, switched to a defenseman when Jordan Schmaltz left early in this one. Grimaldi with a chance, turned away. Belzile. Another save here from Saros. Another shot from distance by the Rampage. Now the Admirals will break out. Mingoya tripped up in the corner as the Rampage will take possession. Clint Costin comes to the middle of the ice and stripped to the puck. I think those are types of plays where Costin could get away with, particularly at the junior level and playing World Junior Championships, and that's tough to do playing in the American Hockey League. And I think he'll learn that with just experience as time and time goes on. You can't often go 1 against 5 and win.
I wish the guys on this level more focused on the back check, knowing how good a puck handler and a scorer that he is draws that attention.
Ranford centering. Vogelhuber comes to Toninato. He flipped it wide. And that's actually not to take away anything from Costin's game tonight, because I think it's been really good. Probably one of his better ones, and definitely his best one since he's returned from Buffalo. Siemens pokes it wide. He'll come back to Toninato, sets it up. Malash lets it fly off the glove of Saros. Boy, he has not been as good with the glove here over the last couple of periods, Andrew.
No, he has not. That one, probably his shakiest save. He's looked confident, but not on that one.
Moy will track this one down to the corner for the Admirals. Behind the net with it is Derek Army. Talked about Tage Thompson's dad, Brent, coaching in Bridgeport. Derek Army's dad, Tim, coaching in Wilkes-Barre Scranton. He's a former assistant with Colorado Avalanche for a couple of years. Siemens dumps it in from center. It'll come right across over on the far wing where it's cleared out and ahead by Bobby Butler. 9 minutes gone here in the third, and the Rampage still down 2. Chris Butler now leads it ahead for Thompson across the line. Thompson trying to drive it. He's kept to the outside by Lotanen and goes down. The Admirals so strong on their sticks defensively. Zolnarchuk for Trevor Smith. Jumps into the zone, shoots it over the net. But back to Bobby Butler, who shoots it on the ice, and Martin with another save. Now it's Thompson in the transition for the Rampage. To Blais. Blais drives the net, has a chance, shoots, he scores!
Blais would not be denied. Off the save by Martin, Blais takes it in that right circle into the slot. Even though there's a piece, Olini gets a little bit of it. Blais stays with it.
We're going to talk about goalie interference, whether Saros could make the play. Now, there is no goalie interference in the American Hockey League in terms of what is reviewable. I would gather if this was the NHL and they took a look and reviewed this, it might be deemed goalie interference, but there is no video review. It's just what the coaches, or excuse me, what the officials determine on the ice.
Here's what you're talking about. Butler sends Girard into Saros as Blais puts it upstairs. And Butler was hustling back after taking that shot.
And I think they're going to wave off the goal because of goalie interference, which, again, there is no video review for goalie interference in the American Hockey League. That being said, I actually think this crew got it right, though, unless you want to say Bobby Butler got a good push on Felix Girard here.
That's my thought when I first saw it, is that Butler sends Girard into Saros, and Blais, by stick handling and continuing, gets a little open space and sends it upstairs. And to add insult to injury, the goal comes off, and it's a 2-minute minor.
But again, I almost get the sense that if this was taken to video review, that probably would have been the right call, that they would have wiped it off the board. Because they give the goalies a lot of leeway and protection.
Well, Butler is coming back now. Also remember, Girard knows he can't go into that crease. He can't go into Saros either, so he's trying to slow up. What I don't want to get lost, though, is the stick handling of Sammy Blais from the right side of that ice into the slot. Even as Milwaukee tries to poke that puck free, he regains control and scores. Unfortunately, it's washed out.
Eric Veilleux with an earful for the far side referee over there, and it's Kenny Anderson. Well, if you could read lips, Eric was not happy with the call.
Once again, momentum, will it be taken away by having another Milwaukee power play? The Rampage, with their rushes up ice and the momentum that they had, now for 2 minutes, Milwaukee on the power play where they're 2 for 3.
Pedersen, fourth power play of the night for the Admirals. Puts it in front, tipped on Martin, he makes the save. That'll certainly increase the chippiness of this game as we go forward.
Boy, you know, it wouldn't be a great scenario if they played in two days again. So this third period carries into Sunday as well.
Well, wouldn't you know it, Andrew? The Rampage and Milwaukee Admirals will reconvene here on Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. in the AT&T Center. It's a Sunday Fun Day presented by Raising Cane's. And you can get your tickets at sarampage.com. Game 2 of the homestand. Carrier. One-timer fed wide of the net by Bobby Butler. You don't get a very good window when you play the Admirals, and the Rampage really needed that break a moment ago. This shot turned wide from the point by Carrier. Pedersen. Back to Alex Carrier. To Bobby Butler. Snapped into the corner. Trevor Smith, who got the scoring started on the power play in the second. Carrier. Out top. With a shot. Tipped. Rebound. Put through the crease there by Smith. Pedersen. 55 on the power play. Pedersen, snapshot, save Spencer Martin. 49 seconds remaining on the penalty to Girard.
That unit seems a little more deliberate with the puck. Not taking anything away from that unit as the Gaudreau unit, for lack of a better phrase, comes on for Milwaukee. They seem to shuffle the puck a little more quickly, but much more deliberate in that early part of the power play for Milwaukee.
Face-off controlled by the Rampage here. Trent Vogelhuber. He lost it bringing it in. That's an offside on San Antonio.
Nothing like winning a face-off, though, to stop a team. For the first minute 18, power play all on the Rampage end. Win the face-off, get it out of the zone.
Well, you talk about turning points in the game. We just had a massive turning point. But if the Rampage can finish this penalty kill, that's a massive turning point and a victory for them. And still only down 2 goals here with 9 minutes to play, so there's a lot of time for San Antonio to get a couple.
Martin's been terrific with 10 saves.
Gertson will wrap this one out. We'll chase the Admirals back inside their own end. On the final 18 seconds remaining on Milwaukee's 4th power play of the night. Lotanen through the middle of the ice. Brings it in. Looked like Richard was offside. They let the play go, and Lotanen scores. Admirals lead it 3-0.
With their 3rd power play goal.
Let's watch Anthony Richard skate, because I also think if we had video review, Andrew, we don't see it there, maybe on the zone entry. Because I feel if we had video review, this goal would be waved off for an offside.
Yeah, right. Richard right there at the blue line. He was right in front of the linesman. Lotanen continued down that right wing.
Look at Richard skate. Oh, I think he is very close to offside, if not completely offside.
He is in the zone, but he comes back with that right skate. Does he do it in time?
Yeah. Instantaneous, very close.
And then Lotanen just stays down that wall, beats Spencer Martin, and gives Milwaukee the 3-0 lead.
I would have gone to review too, no question about it. Again, if there was video review on offside, there isn't. And that makes it 3-0 Admirals. The power play goal by Lotanen, which, by the way, is his first goal in North America. A big night for him with a goal and an assist. Tage Thompson now. Saros gets the assist as Blais send it back out top. Jesse Graham holding. And he was looking for Butler. Butler had moved to him, and it comes out of the zone. So 3 power play goals on 4 tries for the Admirals tonight. 3 for 4. And Milwaukee's lead of 3. It's definitely larger than 2, but I tell you, it looms a lot bigger than 2.
I know exactly what you're saying, because the Rampage get that goal, it's 2-1, and then a little doubt creeps in, and the momentum for the Rampage, little more room to play with right now for Milwaukee.
And the amazing thing for San Antonio is they played a very good hockey game here tonight. Now splitting through is Pettersson. Pettersson couldn't pull the trigger, was taken away from his skates. Where if you're Eric Veilleux and you try to think of adjustments for Sunday, I'm not necessarily sure you have to make a lot of adjustments.
I like the way they came out in the second period, and I like what you said. They controlled play, outplayed, and were down 2 goals. And the same thing happened here in the 3rd period. They got terrific chances.
Trevor Smith. He comes through the middle and dumps it away to the corner. But again, Rampage are 0 for 3 on the power play. They're going to have to find a way to score on the power play here on home ice, because they're going to play teams that will come into this building with good power plays like Milwaukee that'll take advantage, and that's exactly what you do when you're on the road. You keep it even 5-on-5, and you take advantage when your opponent gives you that chance. A bouncing puck in on Saros as he makes the save. Vogelhuber will take the rebound around the net. Serves it back up the wall. Here's Mironov. Tries to spin away from Zolnarchuk. He fell. Zolnarchuk pushes it out. It's beyond the outstretched reach of Bobby Butler, however, and Chris Butler will play it ahead as Toninato wraps it into the Rampage. Will head back to the bench for a change. 5:48 remaining in regulation. The Admirals with a 3-0 lead over San Antonio. I'll tell you what, the other thing that's a bit concerning for the Rampage now is 10 out of their last 15 games, they've been held to 2 goals or less, Andrew. And so this is now looking like 11 out of 16. Sam Blais brings it along and in. Against to Tage Thompson, and it comes through Freddie Gaudreau. Zangerli couldn't get a handle on it. Thompson with it in the corner. Back to Blais. Shot upstairs. Save. And back the other way, Anthony Richard.
I think he's been the big reason, Saros, as opposed to the opportunities for the Rampage. Saros has been real good. I would love to have seen the Toninato shot go in the first period. Would that have changed things? But in that second period, Saros came up really huge for Milwaukee.
Thompson picks off the centering pass. Send Alex Belzile off to the races. His line mate's making a change, however. Rampage went 34 games before getting shut out this season. Now potentially are staring at their second straight shutout on home ice. Lost 4-0 against Bakersfield back on January the 3rd, which was their last home game. Grimaldi as he hands to Clint Costin. Turn to Rocco. Jump in. And you can't underestimate the loss in the first period of Jordan Schmaltz and what that does to your power play as well. Toninato out top. Siemens blocked. It'll settle back to Duncan. They'll play it down to the corner. Out through Toninato. It'll roll back to the line. Saved there by Milosh as it galloped over. Milosh's shot pinballs off a skate off to the far side. Gertzen will take it there. Against a Ranford shot kicked out of there. Tyler Moy with Derek Army as Antel digs it free. Down to 3:40 to play as the Admirals clear.
I like your point about Schmaltz because you said this was a game that's going to be decided by special teams. He's an integral part of it.
Ranford puts it through the paint wide. Perfect carom to Mingoya. The Admirals carry out back through the middle of the ice. Kirkland. Bothered there from behind by Gertzen, and Gerard Mironov is in there as well as they continue to dig at that puck. Right in front of Peter Tarnaras, the referee, lets him go. The Admirals continue to flourish here now on the attacking end. Mingoya jammed off the puck in the Rampage. Will carry it out. Starting to run out of time. Down 3 with under 3 to play. Mingoya back on the puck at center. The head off Smith's stick. Play stays onside. And the Rampage rocking along. Sam Blais stripped from behind though. And a penalty through the middle of the ice on the Admirals. We'll take a break. Sam Blais draws a late power play for the Rampage. Back after this. Rampage down 3. It's 3-0 Milwaukee here as we come down the home stretch of the AT&T Center. Well, here's why every single night is a big night for the Rampage when it comes to the Pacific Division, because as you take a look at the standings, and Andrew, we mentioned this before, every team in the division is above 500, and every team in the division is essentially separated by about 6 or 7 points right now.
And going by percentage, as you see, Ontario in that 8th spot, 515 hockey. The Rampage, 2 1,000ths ahead of Texas in the number 5 spot. I'd like what you said. Win and you secure a little bit more. Lose and you can fall a couple of spots.
And just to kind of finish that point, Texas is playing right now. They're playing in Stockton tied at 1. If the Rampage lose tonight, Texas gets a point or wins. San Antonio's out of the playoff mix. Tage Thompson scores! He'll end the shutout with 2:18 remaining as he snaps it over Soros and into the Rampage on the board with a power play goal of their own.
Twice in the second period, the Soros had stopped Tage Thompson. One-timers in the left circle. This time, Tage takes that feed and has a little bit of time to set up. But just inside that circle, snapped it up high. The power play goal for Thompson. He just lets this one fly. That's that glove side of Soros, Dan. You made that comment about Soros. It might be the weakest part.
I think if I'm the Rampage, I'm watching video of these last 2 periods tonight, how Soros' glove was not anywhere near as good as I've seen it in the past, or even how it was in the first period. And I think that's where the Rampage need to attack, not only for the final couple of minutes of this one, but the rest of the night as Spencer Martin goes to the bench. Extra attacker on. 6 on 5 for the Rampage here. The Rampage still needing 2 goals. And Milwaukee nearly cleared it out of play, which would have given San Antonio a power play to finish the game. Alex Belzile and Rocco Grimaldi on the assists on that Thompson goal on the power play. His 8th goal of the season and his 2nd power play goal of the year. The Admirals shoot it into the empty net from center ice as Anthony Richard picks off the puck at center and drives it in. And that'll make it 4-1 with 1:41 to play. Tenth of the season for Anthony Richard. This goal at 18-19 and will likely stymie any comeback hopes for San Antonio tonight.
Martin comes back in for the Rampage with a 1:41 remaining. The chance to go up the ice, gets deflected. Richard deflects it. Stays on his own side of the red line. Fires it into the empty net.
Unassisted goal for Richard at 18-19 in the final 90 seconds of this one. And again, the rematch coming up on Sunday. Of the 5 goals that were scored tonight, 4 came on special teams, and the other was an empty netter. Mingoya will track this one down. And he's forced out of the zone. He had a cup of coffee with the Rampage last year, coming up from Atlanta of the ECHL. Atlanta, by the way, is now coached by former Rampage head coach Chuck Weber in his first season with the Gladiators, serving as an assistant last year in Rochester. Prior to that, a couple of championships in the English League.
A heck of a story. Chuck Weber is a heck of a story.
He certainly is.
Talk about coming up through the ranks and not even the conventional ranks.
And he's the only Rampage coach to lead the team out of the opening round of the postseason.
Known Chuck for a long time.
Siemens, it's blocked and will dribble back. Milwaukee will carry it out. The final seconds of this one. Derek Army. Chase it down with Costin leaning on his back. Rampage are going to fall for the 4th time in the last 5 games. Time to go into a slide here. The Admirals will take game 1 of this little 2-game weekend series. 4-1 the final. As Milwaukee grabs 2 points in their 20th win of the season. And they have now beaten the Rampage 9 straight times. To quote Ed Rooney from Ferris Bueller.
Another chance on Sunday, but I can't help but think what you said, an awful lot to learn from, and I think an awful lot of positives from this one. But just know that if it's another special, it comes down to special teams on Sunday. Keep Milwaukee off that power play, but maybe they learned a little something from today for Sunday afternoon's contest.
Partner, we'll see you during the Rodeo Road Trip in Chicago.
You got it, buddy.
Do it. The Rampage are back at it once again versus the Milwaukee Admirals on Sunday afternoon right here in the AT&T Center. Sunday Funday starts at 3. Tickets are available now at SARampage.com. For Andrew Monaco and our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss. Thanking you for joining us. Final score from the AT&T Center. The Rampage fall to Milwaukee Admirals 4-1. The following has been a presentation of the American Hockey League and Spurs Sports and Entertainment. So long, everybody.